Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Thoughts to Think About. I'm Efrain.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Reid.
And we've got some thoughts. Spooky thoughts. Ooh, for you to think about. Welcome back. We're so glad you are here to join us on this evening. I'm dressed up. Got my magic lamp.
Happy Halloween.
Ready to go. This is it. I'm the only one who dressed up, though.
He didn't tell anybody, which I think it's fine. Like, this is...
It's literally Halloween.
Pop off, King. Like, this is your holiday.
It's Halloween.
Yeah.
What?
It's freaking bats.
It's freaking bats.
I love Halloween.
I love Halloween.
Wow.
I figured, I'd be in the spirit and dress up for today.
Careful. What spirit are you?
Halloween.
Spirits.
Hello.
Speaking of spirits. Oh, man. Halloween is this week. We're excited. I'm excited. I like Halloween. Spooky season is fun for me. We watch a lot of scary movies, as we've talked about before. Seen some good ones this year. We tried to do mostly new ones this year. And we've done pretty well. Like,
How's that working out for you?
it's honestly pretty good. There's a point where you lose out on good movies because there's just so many bad Halloween or scary movies.
99%.
There are
of them.
so many
It's not
bad
good.
ones. And
That's a pretty big, estimation. 99% of them.
99%.
I would say it's a good, half. Half are really good. Half are so bad.
At least so bad.
So bad.
Yeah, at least there's a lot of bad. But like I said, we've watched some good movies this year.
Nice.
Some pretty good ones. We watched Five Nights at Freddy's last night.
Ugh.
It was pretty fun. That one just came out.
It's
Yeah.
what?
Darwin.
What are we?
No, Donnie.
Donnie.
Is it Donnie? I thought it was
Yeah.
Darwin.
No,
it's
it's
Donnie.
Donnie from Wild Thornberries.
Thornberries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donnie
Really?
Thornberry. Yeah.
Get your
Is Darwin
facts straight.
is Darwin the monkey?
Yes.
yeah, I think
Darwin's
so,
the
yeah.
monkey. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Nigel is the father.
Right. Well, because I was
Nigel.
thinking it's Darwin, after Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Right? But
That's the monkey.
it's the monkey. So that
Because
makes sense. That makes more
evolution.
sense. Yeah, I get it now.
Oh,
I just evolved
Oh, no.
right there, ladies and gentlemen. You
No.
saw.
live.
Go if you're listening. Go over to YouTube because you just missed the evolution.
It's amazing.
What was I saying?
Remember, we were talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. That's what it was.
What's the premise
Freddy's at Five Guys.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Five Guys at Freddy's. So the point of Five Nights at Freddy's is you're it's based on a video game, right? And so
Yeah.
the first game is just you're a security guard at this Chuck E. Cheese stand-in place at Freddy Fazbear's, and you're watching the place, and they're like, "Hey, watch the stuff. Some things are a little weird." So you're literally just watching screens, as a security guard, and you kind of turn back and forth to check on doors and different things. You don't really move. You're just it's like a jump scare game. That's
Okay.
the whole point of the game is to be jump scared.
Interesting.
And so you've never played it?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
I don't really do scary games.
yeah. You don't really do scary movies either.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. You just
Or scary books.
so scary game. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. You're you read a lot of books. You're reading a lot this year.
Trying to.
Yeah. I'm behind
Yeah.
a lot. At the beginning of the year, I was trying to,
You were really go
and I was
for
doing
it.
pretty good, and it slowed down a lot, but that's all right. So
Yeah.
no scary books either.
Yeah, none of
Interesting.
mine are scary books.
Interesting. Have you ever read a scary book?
Not really. No. I don't
Did
think
you
so.
ever read Goosebumps as a kid?
No.
Oh man, Goosebumps
Ooh, ate
hits.
them up.
Goosebumps hits.
The ones where you get to choose your own journey.
Those were cool. I just never felt like they hit as well as the other ones did, because it just you were never committed to an ending.
Oh,
Because you could just change it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And so it just never felt like it hit as hard. You know, it always felt a little weaker. Anyway, so Five Nights at Freddy's, fun game, and they turned it into a movie this year. Josh Hutcherson is in it. Hutchinson?
He
Hutcherson? It's
was
Hutcherson.
Peter Malak, wasn't he?
Yes, Peta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Peta.
Peta. Yeah.
Not
Oh,
Peter.
From Hunger Games.
Yeah.
yeah.
He did a good job. He was good in the movie. Even Shaggy, not Scooby. Shaggy's in the movie. Matthew Lillard from the 2000s James Gunn Scooby-Doo movie.
The
Is it?
old school one.
For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought this was a cartoon.
No, it's like a live
live
action
action.
movie. It's pretty good. All the robots I think are real. So they're animatronic, right? So the idea is
Chill
that
out.
there's animatronic creatures like you're at Chuck E. Cheese where they do their
Right.
little singing thing. The little pizza man is
Bears
playing the
Jamboree.
drums. Right, exactly. Country Bears. And so same sort of deal. And those animatronics come to life and scare you and eat you or whatever.
Who was I talking to? Oh, my sister was telling me about it, and she was
The
telling
movie or the game?
She was telling me about the games because she was going to see the movies with her friends, but she's never played the game. So she was like watching all this backstory, and she was telling me that the premise of the game is that if you get caught, they think that you are an animatronic without its costume on, and so they force you into an animatronic, and you die.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So, like,
that's
yeah.
pretty much it. And
I
so
like that.
I think, and so so there's one game, very simple game, and I think there's like 10 of them now or something. Like there's a lot of them now. So it was like a big phenomenon. All the kids were into it and stuff.
Oh, I know. I taught 4th grade when it was like popping, and there was this one. So there's this group of boys, and they were just like all about it, obsessed constantly. And then I heard about it so much that I just figured it was, Five Nights at Freddy's. Like it's just a game,
Right.
or a YouTuber. Like you just
Right. I
you just hear kids
idea.
talk. Yeah.
I've heard about it a lot, but I had no idea what it was.
No
until,
context.
Like yesterday.
Oh, this is fresh for you.
Wow, real fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
It kind of reminded me of like Slenderman.
Oh,
Was like when the Slenderman game was a big
Yeah.
thing.
I also never played that.
That's pretty fun
But
too.
there were 2 boys that like wanted to so badly be a part of this like group of friends, and they played it, and it freaked them out, and they were like shaking talking about it to me. It should be babes. And so then I'm like, hey, so what is this about? And one of the kids like told me everything, and like, why did you tell her? And he's like, oh, my bad. Right, like classic 4th grader.
Right.
And so then I'm like, we're just done. Stop talking
Right.
about it. And then they would come up with like code names for it, or they would just say like Five Nights. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I know.
At
what
Freddy's,
you're-
you mean?
Yeah. So
No. At Margaret's.
yeah.
Oh.
It's
Sequel.
about gardening.
Oh, okay. The garden
They
tools.
bury you
Yeah.
alive. But yeah, that's the only context I have is like being so annoyed that these children are like playing this horror game, and this one poor little
Right.
boy is like shaking.
Yeah. I mean, it's a creepy little game. It's fun. You know, the movie was okay. I mean, it's not like amazing. Probably not
Yeah.
my favorite movie this year, but you know, seen some good ones. Yeah, but it's a fun time of, you know, being a little bit spooky. I enjoy being a little bit spooky. What about you, Reid?
No.
I know you don't. I don't know why I asked you that
don't
question.
at
That was a
all.
layup. It was
Just
easy.
to see if he'll be consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
We're testing him.
Yes.
We're testing him. So in the season of spookiness, in the spirits of
Oh,
spookiness.
chill. I
Careful.
rebuke.
Careful. Amen. So speaking of that, so there's this kind of phenomenon that's going on right now that is kind of a big deal in at least the TikTok circles that I'm in, right? Just like, you know, conspiracies and creepy things and
Right,
weird
UFOs.
stuff.
What?
What's
USPs.
I couldn't think of what the new acronym was.
USPS.
UPS.
UAPs. Right.
FedEx. so in my circles, there is this kind of not like a big thing, but it's kind of going viral. There's these 2 YouTubers who started off in Vine, I think, and they kind of blew up and
Wow.
are kind of doing
It's a
their
long
thing
time
on
ago.
TikTok and doing their thing on TikTok and doing their thing on YouTube, called Sam and Colby. And they are essentially now just ghost hunters, right? So when I say
Okay.
ghost hunters, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you know, did either of you guys watch Ghost Hunters as kids or
All the time.
yeah,
All the time.
Ghost Adventures
Yeah.
with Zach Baggins, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember the guy's name. I just remember like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. Then there was one more that I can't.
See, I those were the 2 for me. So Ghost Hunters felt for me like they were taking it really seriously, and it was like they're like going for it.
Yeah.
and it was, but like I was in.
My
you know,
favorite was when they'd go to prisons.
It was so creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was always so
wild.
creepy. And so like I was in on Ghost Hunters, and then there was Ghost Adventures, which was like basically they're doing the same things, but they're like, and they took it seriously, but the vibe was like, this is real goofy, you know? Like it was so goofy. Like I remember one of them, they're like yelling at the ghost, or like you're scared, ghost. You won't touch me. You won't push me over. You won't do it. And they're like, bro, dude, stop. You're going to anger the ghost. Dude, it's so...
Say I won't. Hold me back.
Say I won't. Say I won't.
Ghosts holding each other back.
No, don't do it, man. Yeah, dude. And so it was super goofy, it felt like. And so, yeah, so ghost hunting as a kid was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Didn't
Reid really... He's like, oh, yeah, that's
I definitely watched all those shows.
I could be just making this up. Didn't both of those it come out that they were just like completely fake?
Well, there were a lot of stories. So, I mean, yes. So there were several things where they would come out where this event was a hoax and this part of the episode was a hoax.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. And so a lot of it...
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Right, exactly.
It's okay, Reid.
Reid, it's okay, man. It's all good.
So many triggers for singing.
So there were several things that came out as hoaxes. Not everything, it wasn't like they're just frauds.
Yeah.
But I mean,
sure.
It was
who
very
knows, right? Who knows exactly?
Not everything came out.
Not everything came out to be a hoax, right? So people
some
were
of it
silent.
they kept hidden. Yeah.
Right, exactly, maybe. And so anyway, so Sam and Colby, they did this thing recently where they stayed at the Conjuring house. So the house that was inspired the movie The Conjuring.
Oh, so the house that inspired the movie, not the house from the movie.
Yeah, so the movie is just inspired by this story.
They didn't film at that house. Yeah,
it's pretty different from the actual real life story.
Right.
And it's pretty intense, and there's they take a lot of liberties to make it pretty cool. Pretty fun movie. Good movie though. Conjuring. Watch that one.
If you want to, it's very. I watched the first one and I was like, I can't.
Spooky. It's a good spooky one. I like that one. So anyway, so they stay at the real life Conjuring house where this real family stayed and lived and were apparently haunted by these different ghosts and creatures. There were stories of like at 5 a.m. every morning their beds would violently shake. And that's where the stories of...
That's the alarm I need, buddy.
Like, whoa, it's time to get up, baby.
How do you hire a ghost?
Would you hire a ghost
to
do
as
it?
An alarm clock.
Can you get that on Amazon? Is there a spirit alarm clock?
UPS deliver that?
I need it quick. So they would... they brought in these demonologists, as they call themselves, Elizabeth and Ed Warren, right? Or Lorraine Warren, I'm sorry. Ed and Lorraine Warren. I don't know where
Estranged
Elizabeth came
cousins
from.
of Rick Warren.
Not
Rick
me.
Warren, yeah. Not no relation.
Oh.
But they came in and they are demonologists, and so they're like, oh, we can, get rid of the spirits or whatever. And so they did seances and did different things. And one of the seances, there's a story where the mother was possessed apparently by one of the spirits, and she at one point they're like saying, get out of here, spirit, and and she was lifted up in the air by like several feet and then thrown into a different room from the table that they were sitting at. And their kids were upstairs, and this is kind of an older house, right? So built in the 1800s, and so there's like the kids slept upstairs, and so they were watching from the stairs, like watching this event, and so I think several of them are still alive, and so they recount this story, and they say it was real and that this is what happened and this is how it all went on.
Wild.
Ed and Lorraine, I don't know the reality of all those situations, but as me personally, I do believe that there are, spirits in the world that are not human, right? That are like, as a Christian, as a believer, right? That there are, angels and demons
principalities
and
principalities
principalities, as the Bible talks about. And so so there's a level of I'm not like 100% this is totally fake, because if there were actual spirits involved in this situation,
sure,
maybe that could be true. But at the same time, it's like that's a little far-fetched, right? Like,
right.
I like watching the scary movies because it feels like it's fun, it's spooky, but I know it's not really that real, But they took it super seriously. So now, all that set up to say, Sam and Colby, these guys on YouTube,
our little buddy,
stayed at the
in the
house.
house, for a week.
A whole week.
And so they released an episode, I think, on Friday about their misadventures, or maybe it was last week. And then they released one today, actually, the day we're recording this, and they will release one more on Halloween, which is not today, but it's very soon.
Yeah.
And so,
jeez,
yeah, so they go through these different things. They're doing this ghost hunting thing where they're like, they've got the little, EMF detector where it's like, oh, beep,
Right.
beep, 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 and the ghost is around or whatever, and they're trying to talk to the ghosts. There's this one thing that they do that they're like, this is mind-blowing and is going to change people's lives. Okay.
Right.
Goodness.
And so what happens is they meet up with these people who I think work at the Conjuring House. It's like a tourist thing now,
Oh.
for people to come hang out and get possessed
Take a
or
little-
whatever.
It's like different levels of tickets. Like you just come see. Platinum is like low possession.
Light possession here, platinum ticket.
Right.
Golly.
Double platinum.
Double
we kill you.
They lift you up and throw you
We
to
will
another.
throw you across the room.
Golly.
It's like, yeah, that's awesome. Which one are you paying for?
Whatever's I can get a Groupon for.
Get me in there for free and get me out in one piece. So basically, the big thing that they did, there's these two people who I think work there sometimes. Their names are Satori and Cody. And they do this thing where they are able to interact with the ghosts, they believe. And they call them ghosts, right?
Allegedly,
They call them
yeah.
ghosts and spirits, right? I don't personally necessarily believe that, like, human spirits are floating around.
Nor.
But that's what they believe, and that's what's going on. And so they believe they can interact with these different spirits. And so what they do is they, like, hold hands, like, across from each other.
Hold this hand,
Hold my
Reid.
hand, please.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. So
The way you hold your hands.
he was so apprehensive. He was like, no,
Take
what are
my
we doing?
hand.
We're gonna do it right now. We're gonna conjure spirits.
I don't think there are any spirits in this house, but
Dang,
It's
it's
a
clean.
holy spirit.
That's a whole. Oh, amen. Holy ghost in here. So they hold hands like from across each other, and they just start asking the spirit questions. They go knock twice or maybe once for yes, two for no. And
Right.
they start asking it questions like, "Hey," or they'll go through the alphabet to try to get like letters. So it's like a quasi
like
Ouija
a Stranger
board.
Things.
Right.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
similar,
Ouija
but,
board, but they don't have a Ouija
but
board.
they don't have a board, right?
They should have
Super
just
similar.
like gone to Target and
Just get to
Right.
Target.
Why don't
Easy.
they have a Ouija board in that house? That feels like something
It feels like you should have.
they would have that.
Probably.
You have to find
but this is their method and this is the way they
Alright.
do it. And so what happens is, so they'll start asking it questions and you'll start hearing knocks. Like, and the people that are in the video, if you're watching the Sam and Colby video, the people in the video are saying that they're hearing knocks from around the room. Like, they're like, okay, spirits come hang out with us. And like suddenly there's knocking all around them and they're like, oh, there's multiple spirits coming in the room is what they say. And so,
Yeah. Definitely not fudgeable.
definitely
at all.
not fudgeable.
Right.
And so they're like talking to him and asking him questions. And so the big moment in the first episode that kind of happens that's like really mind-blowing is that they start talking and they're like, oh, there's a spirit here. And there's this other spirit apparently that like guides them and talks to them or whatever. And they're like, oh, there's a spirit here for somebody in the room. And they're like, oh, what's their name? And they start spelling it out and it's Libby Goldbach, which is, and one of the guys in the room, Sam Goldbach, he starts freaking out and he's like, dude, no way. And then basically it's like,
That's my
Libby is
mother.
apparently like, oh, it's, we're okay. I'm here watching over so-and-so, Tyler, and I don't remember his sister's name or whatever. And so he's
Veronica.
freaking out and he's like, there's no way they know that because like Libby is my grandma and Libby is her like nickname. It's not even her real name. And Tyler and Veronica or whatever.
He's just making up names.
Made up name. Are my sister. And it's like she's saying she's watching over them and all this stuff. And he's like crying, like bawling and like freaking out.
Sweet boy.
And like, it's a cool moment. And apparently like multiple people do a similar thing. And there's like, where these like weird connections, right? They're making connections to their personal lives that apparently people wouldn't know. And so the rest of the episode goes on. They're doing more things and they try to do like debunking tests with them. And so they're like, they go to a park. And this is the one that kind of was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. They go to a park, like just a random park. They drive around.
Right.
They go to a random park. They go out. And they do their little holding hands thing. They start talking they're asking for spirits. Yeah, come on.
Hold his hand.
Hold my hands, please. They start asking
What's wrong
for
with you?
everything. They start asking for spirits, and somebody shows up,
Right.
and it's this. They say it's this person, and they were a teacher, and they worked at a place called Globe, and they're like, "What Globe? What does that mean?"
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, well, this is Globe Park. I just saw it on the map right now," and they're like, "Oh, what?" there's a Globe school just down the road. What? No way. And they're like, oh, it's this person. And so then they're driving away. They didn't know anything.
Surely
they're driving
they didn't
away.
know anything.
And they look up this person, and there was a person who died on that day in 2007.
What?
Who was named that and was a teacher who worked at that school in the area. And so, like,
What?
weird, right? I was like, oh, that's super weird. In the moment, it's like,
No way.
That's kind of crazy. So,
The hard thing is, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
no, that's pretty much it.
The hard thing is right now in our multimedia life is everything is Googleable, and like there's even jokes, like running jokes, like females are basically FBI agents and can find out everything about a guy they're talking. So like I don't want to take away because I wasn't there, and whatever.
I'll take away from him. It's
Don't
all
worry,
fake.
it's coming.
But like that information is just so easily found out.
Well, they immediately Googled it, and
Yeah.
then they found it. So why couldn't they have Googled it before?
They should have the camera should have panned on the phone. Like, was the link purple or was it
It's a
like
purple
it had
link.
been
Did they
clicked-
clear their history
it's
or
been
not?
clicked before?
Hold on. Pull up your history real quick. Oh my gosh.
Why is there
Yeah.
nothing from the last
Wait a
24 hours
minute.
on here?
Wait a minute.
I was
That's
listening
so
to
funny.
a podcast recently. This lady was talking about her friend was trying to take her to go see a
Movie. Child.
the people
musical?
that like tried to talk to
psychic.
Yes,
medium?
thank you.
Yeah.
Why did I not think of psychic? She's trying to take her to a psychic, and she juked her, and she was saying something.
Took her to a priest instead.
No, to the
Be blessed.
like the psychic. She was like she was kind of leading her one direction, was like, what about this person? And then I think she like told the psychic a fake name. And so she's like, what about this person? And she goes, oh yes, she died, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, that's me. And so like, she kind of just like, haha, you're such a liar. But because she didn't believe in any of that.
Right.
So
So,
I-
she led her with fake information to
Right.
make the psychic think she was getting somewhere, and then
Yeah.
she
And was
lying
like,
to
just
her.
kidding. Oh my God, you're scaring me.
Oh my God.
We just got a jump scare live on camera.
If you're doing audio only, Reid's wife, Aubrey, just came in to ask for Efrain's keys to move the car. And
Violently.
like the way the door opened.
We had a jump
was
scare
so
live on
aggressive.
the podcast. I love it.
If anybody was going to get scared, it was for sure going to be me.
Oh, we're gonna be replaying that over and over and over.
Oh my God.
Exactly. It's gonna be awesome. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go check out the YouTube channel.
I catch my breath.
I need a minute.
Yeah, so I think the whole thing about psychic stuff, like going to a psychic, it's always they're just giving very general leading questions and letting you fill in all the blanks for yourself, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing someone. Oh, you must be thinking about Jessica. Yes, it's Jessica. Like
Somebody you care about. Really
Right.
deeply.
Yeah.
oh, my grandma. Yes,
That's
and I'm
it.
getting a name.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, her name was Mary.
It starts with I'm hearing an R. Maybe a Rebecca.
Oh, the second letter in her name was
Oh,
R.
that's what it was. Exactly right.
I told y'all the story about me going to go see like I can't remember if it was a psychic or she like read my palms or whatever.
I think you
Yeah,
did.
I think
Yeah, I was like
Briefly told us
19,
that.
and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, someone that you like really want you, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, but like who? That's everyone's story when they're like 19.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Jeez.
They just
Right.
get really general and
Yeah.
kind of lead you in a
You're
direction.
making
Yeah.
a big decision right now in your life. It's like, yeah, I just graduated high
Yeah.
school. Like every 18-year-old is making big
Every
decisions,
decision's
right?
big, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like horoscopes.
Right.
You just put generalized stuff in
Oof.
there, and then people are like, "That's exactly
Dang.
like they
We're
said."
stepping on some toes.
I was gonna meet somebody wearing a red shirt today.
They said I was going to have a really bad day, and I had a really bad day today.
Wow.
It's like that self-fulfilling
Yeah.
prophecy sort of
Yeah,
thing where
right.
you go like, oh, I'm reading my horoscopes every day. So like
Right.
you're focused on the thing that you read,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anything else happen after all the knocking?
So pretty much there's more, right? So that was just the first episode. They did more episodes where they did more of the knocking stuff, and they went out into the creepy woods out nearby the house because it's kind of like secluded.
Yeah.
And so they're like they have this little machine where they listen to a device that plays sound. So it's like supposed to be picking up words from the nearby thing. I don't know. I mean, to me, it just feels like random words, but you know, and so they're going, oh, that must mean because of this. Oh, because of this, you know, and so it feels like they're forcing the
that
logic
narrative,
into what the little device is saying. And so anyway, so they do different things. It's creepy, right? It's a creepy old house. So there's creepy stuff. They hear random things. Again, I wasn't there, you know, so like, and I love the creepy stuff. So I love the idea of like being scared and, oh, maybe there's creepy things.
Yeah.
Wouldn't necessarily want to play with like the demons or whatever. If,
Absolutely,
you know, if they're hanging
not.
out there, you know, but anyway, and so they do the knocking thing. And so that's kind of, I think, the big takeaway from this whole event so far. I haven't seen the final 2 episodes yet. But to me, that feels like the big thing. They're trying to like, whoa, you got to see this thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to do some research. I got to learn a little bit more about this, right?
Oh,
About
you have
the
the tea?
Conjuring?
I have some research on at least the people who were doing the like medium thing, right? So that's Satori and Cody and Satori. And so turns out this isn't like, oh, I'm breaking news, right? This isn't news. This is just
They were already
I did like the
Breaking
lightest
news.
of Google searches here, right? Like
Because everything is Googleable.
it's Googleable. So
That's a shirt.
Yeah.
Everything is Googleable.
Googleable.
Don't think that we're the first ones to
It's
say
gonna
that.
sell. It's gonna sell.
Please.
Numbers. So Cody and Satori. So it turns out Satori they're married, I think. I'm pretty sure they're married. But turns out Satori is actually the daughter of Jason Hawes, who was one of the guys on the original guys from the original Ghost Hunters show with the Atlantic Paranormal Society.
Yeah.
And so with Taps, right? So he's one of the like main guys. It's
Taps.
his daughter, Taps, right? It's
The
his
acronym,
daughter.
The Atlantic.
And yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Got it.
Did you ask? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
She
what I
just
was
kept
like,
saying taps.
Taps, man. Taps.
Taps.
Taps. You mean, yeah, the ghosts are tapping? So, what? So, Satori is that guy's daughter. I think she met her husband on the show, like as a team member, right?
Cute.
Which is cool. Yeah, awesome.
Sure.
And so they're like, that's their thing. They're hunting ghosts together and they're, rocking and rolling. That's super cute. But so they have this thing, this method that they work. And so doing some research, I learned about these sisters. There's a guy on YouTube. He literally like just posted a video just the other day, kind of trying to debunk this whole scenario.
Yes.
And so I think it's called Irrational Era, something like that. He does debunking like different conspiracy things.
Nice.
Which is super like, come on, man, let us have some fun. But at the same time,
I don't know. There's some conspiracies like
let me believe.
I don't care how much like logic is missing from this. I'm just that like all the Trumps are like time travelers.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That's a good. We'll get into that.
We'll
another
get into
time.
that one a different time.
So he teaches me. He taught me personally about the sisters called the Fox sisters, and so they were around in the 1800s, around where there's big spiritualism kind of craze is kind of going on, and so
Great Awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they were
Second one.
Yeah. So they were. Yeah. Sure. Reid. Yeah. Exactly. Dude knows his history. I don't know my history. So they're claiming to be able to speak to spirits, and they're doing this sort of knocking procedure sort of thing, right? A similar knocking thing is happening. And so it turns out what they were doing was manipulating the bones in their feet to make a knocking sound. And it's something that people can do. I can't do it, but
Pardon?
Yeah, there's like videos of people like moving different joints and making a knocking sound. And so if you remember, so they're in an old house the first time, right? So
Yeah.
Cody and Satori are in an old house.
Right.
There's knocking sounds, right? So you're like, okay, maybe it's on some wood somewhere in the house, wood floors, right? But then they're out at a park.
Right.
What's it knocking on, right? They're just out in the grass, right?
Wait, why did that not cross my mind?
Didn't even think about it, right? Oh, they're hearing knocking. They're still talking to him, right? No, but what are they knocking on?
Them knees
The
are
ground?
knocking.
Them knees are knocking. I'm so
Golly.
scared. And so there's this. They're able to make sounds with their joints and stuff. And so that's it. You learn, from the Fox sisters that they were faking it the whole time. It was all a hoax. And so
Surprise.
surprise. Surprise. Got to do it.
Holy.
And so they were faking it the whole time. And so, yeah.
I feel like that's more like creepy than the actual. just like
The ankle popping.
Yeah. Your joints just like that's just you know them they got like bunions for sure from
You
that.
nasty. They could have been faking it, right? Probably.
Oh,
Maybe.
for
Could have
sure.
been.
There's like a 98% chance that it's fake.
I have no
So-
respect for ghost hunters.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow.
Jeez. Wow. So
Wow.
Reid,
Not
from
real.
your mouth, are they frauds?
Yeah, they're frauds. Definitely.
Dang. Wow. And like I said, I don't want to take away from anybody's experience or they're having a good time and doing all this stuff, but it just felt like too hard to believe, right? And I'm watching
Yeah.
a video also, so it's like,
Yeah.
what? No way, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I've never had like a paranormal experience of my own. So like, I don't know. Well, what reason do I have to believe that like certain people, it just happens all the time, you know? Like,
And that was the other
doesn't
thing.
make any sense.
Is they did multiple tests with Cody and Satori, and it's
Right.
like they're able to do it every time. Like they just go around and then boom, they're just doing it. Doing the.
they're just
knocking
really
thing.
good at their craft.
Like
And
that's
it's like,
their career.
No way. There's
Right.
no way. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I guess they're
Yeah.
making money on it. And so that was the other thing. So the guy in the
Oh.
video that he was kind of, debunking the story, he was saying that he made a note that they talked about doing it for free. Right? So, we just do this for free. This is just what we
Okay.
do. They have shows where they do, have paranormal shows and they do sell tickets to the shows, right? And so, like, I'm not trying to dog them for, like, hey,
Get your bag.
get your bag, you know what I mean? But I just found it really hard to believe, and I just had to bring
Right.
it to the pod.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a big thing right now, and I'm excited to see what happens on the Halloween episode. That one's coming out pretty
Yeah.
soon, and so
So
maybe a real ghost will be live on camera.
someone asks you if you're going to stay with them for a week in the Conjuring house, or maybe they go to a new house and they're like, "We're going to bring Efrain with us." Are you going?
Am I staying at the Conjuring house
Or some other haunted house
for a week?
for however long they're doing their video for?
I would probably do a night.
Just a night?
An
just a
overnight
night.
thing.
So
You scared of a week?
Because he got babies. He
I got
can't do a
babies,
whole
man.
week.
I mean, more of the
you're-
time commitment thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more of the time commitment. I
They'll
don't want
pay
to
you
be
for your
there.
time.
He doesn't care.
How much are they paying me? Though?
Wait. Overtime?
At least what you would make in a normal week.
It's not enough. I'm already doing that. I'm already making that.
I'm already doing that.
I don't
need
need to
to
be haunted by
escape
demons
reality a
all of a
little bit,
sudden.
yeah.
What's the,
Financial demons. Like, make it worth it.
oh my gosh. Yeah,
Too late. Already haunted.
these ghosts after me. The tax man. So I would do a day.
I'm hearing a knock.
There's knocking
It's the
on the front
IRS.
door.
The electric company, they're knocking.
Yeah, I would probably do one night. I've thought
One
about
night.
this. I think I would do
One night at Freddy's.
One night at Freddy's.
One night at Freddy's.
Would you stay 5 nights at Freddy's?
5 nights at Freddy's. Actually.
So not
they're
Freddy's,
trying to
not
kill me?
necessarily Freddy's. So if you're, same thing, same premise. Are you staying somewhere that's supposedly haunted for a night?
I have no belief whatsoever that's actually haunted. So it's not a problem.
So you would just do it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do it.
You don't want to waste the time though.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
So
But they pay you.
sure. Yeah, I'll go get paid.
Interesting, Liz.
I would do a night, but I need to make sure like I got a real bed to sleep in. There's like
You get one of the shaking beds. That's the best you can do.
Time to get up.
Can I set the time in which it
No.
like shakes me awake? Dang it.
Shakes you up at 5 a.m.
Just make a deal with the ghost.
Yeah.
Hey, can we just make it like 7,
Yeah.
8?
Yeah. You hit snooze a few times.
Is there a snooze button on the ghost?
I mean, I don't believe ghosts are real. I think that it's either our girl Satori
Liars.
knocking her toe bones,
Knocking
Toe
her
bones.
bones.
or it's like demonic things. Like
Yeah.
so.
She's like, she's either faking it or it's demons. There's no in between.
I mean,
It's
My
either her
goodness.
foot or it's literally a demon. Literally. A demon.
but then if it's the case of a demon, let's just rebuke him, cast him out.
Amen.
Like problem solved.
In Jesus' name.
That's why
Right.
you can't do a video series about it though, because it's like it's all the problem.
Well,
Easy peasy.
then it's a happy ending because then we walk in with the power of Jesus and it's all gone. So happy ending.
Right. I have a question that's kind of adjacent to the story.
Okay, go for it.
You're talking about how the mom, the mom in the 1800s,
Yeah,
got
the parent family. I think
thrown from one room to the other.
it was in the 1900s. The house is just old. Yeah,
Got it.
So, 1970s, I think, 60s.
I think you're correct. I watched
it's
a
the
portion
70s.
of. Sorry, there's something just flew my eyeball.
Maybe it was ghosty.
Got me. I watched a portion.
A Partian.
A portion of it earlier.
That's pretty good. So 70s,
and I think
right?
it's the 70s. Yeah. Sorry.
So the parent family
That's actually really good.
was really good. Impressed.
The mom gets thrown, right? What is it about becoming a ghost that just makes them very strong? Like,
Good point.
Wait, that's actually a good point.
But like they're not strong enough to do like a lot of stuff all the time.
Right.
They're only strong enough.
but suddenly, like, I couldn't walk into a room and pick up a woman and
grown
throw
woman.
her into another room. But the ghost is just like, yeah, shoot, just chunk them
It's
to the other room.
Lots of ghosts on top of each other, making her
Quick,
go
pass her. Quick.
higher,
It's like
and
they're
then,
making her body surf, like crowd surf,
Yes.
into the other
It's like a
room.
levee
my
system
gosh.
that they have set
like
up.
even the ghosts are faking being strong. Like it's all a hoax.
All right, guys, they're here. They're doing a little seance saying, okay, look, here's what we practiced. Okay, we've practiced this.
Gotta make
I'm going to
them think.
distract them for a while.
She's
and then
crowd
4 of you
surfing.
guys are going to lift her up, and then we're going to get into our bucket line, and then we're going to throw her into the other room.
Dude, so
So good.
that's such a good point because like they're like, oh, the ghosts are flicking the lights. Oh, they're making. Oh, they
That
knocked
was
a salt
The
shaker over.
most annoying thing, they were like, "Oh, did the lights flicker?" I'm like, my lights continuously flicker. Anytime the wind blows a little too hard, them lights are flickering.
Girl, let me tell you got some ghosts.
No,
I think you got some.
Center
Especially with the
Point
house
needs to
built
come
Yeah.
in the
fix it.
1800s.
Yeah.
That electrical
Exact-
wiring is probably not good.
Well, and then they asked, like, is it like an electrical problem? And the lady's like, no, I mean, we don't have electrical problems. I'm like, BS, because that is an old house.
Right.
There's no
That's
way.
we
old
had it all
house.
rewired yesterday.
It
Right.
literally just rewired.
Right.
Yeah, and so then suddenly the ghosts are powerful enough to
Right.
throw people and do crazy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always pick and
Shake
choose.
all the beds violently
Yeah,
at the
right,
same
right,
time. You know.
Yeah, the parent family that's one of those stories. It's like that's super intense. Like that's just hard to believe. Now I've heard some stories of some crazy stuff, creepy things. It was
Crazy.
it was a mix of creepy and crazy.
Wow, that's real crazy.
That's
man.
real crazy, man. Wow. But I've heard some crazy stories from people who have claimed to have interactions with demonic entities or possessions or that sorts of things.
Right.
And they're pretty creepy, not gonna lie to you. But
we
usually
won't tell
it's
them
not
on the pod.
what did you
I
say?
said we won't tell them on the pod. It's a
Maybe
little too much.
secret
Yeah.
episode or something. You'll have to
Patreon?
Yeah. Oh, the Patreon. Yeah. It's
we
not
don't have a Patreon.
it's not there yet.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe someday.
Patreon.
Oh wait. I forgot.
Sorry, that's just something people on podcasts say. So
You can just give us money and we'll tell you things if you want. that's just the thing.
just
Jeez.
Venmo us.
I'll drop my
for-
location and you
info.
just come by.
For legal reasons, we are not dropping our location. Anyway, all that to say,
Also, why are ghosts always stuck from like a specific time period? Like it's like always like colonial ghosts.
so true.
except for
Right.
that one ghost that was a teacher in like 07.
Oh,
Right.
right.
Oh,
From
yeah, that's
Globe
true.
So-
Park.
At Globe Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like in 100 years, will ghosts still be colonial ghosts, or are they going to be like industrial revolution ghosts?
We always hear about the woman in white. That's like a common ghost
Yeah.
trope, right? Like La Llorona or there's tons of women in white.
Right.
Sure, definitely know all about ghost lore.
Yeah, that's a ghost lore. You're learning today. So there's that, but maybe in the future it'll be like girl in Uggs or something, you know, like or
Women in leggings.
leggings. Yeah, exactly. Spooky lady in leggings.
Wait, just they hear, you know how it's always like, oh, we hear like old timey music for some reason.
right.
It's like, watch me rock.
No.
Watch me It's
I
just,
saw a meme that was like, in the future, I wonder if it'll be like ghosts doing like current dances. You know,
Yeah.
it's like just like I saw a boy at the end of the hall. He just did the stanky leg and then disappeared.
I can't get that visual out of my head. That's all I'm going to be thinking about from here until Halloween.
and suddenly he's gone.
that's so good.
Ghosts doing the stanky leg.
Oh, that's so
It's
good.
always ballroom dancing. It's never
Right.
like anything else.
Gritty.
The gritty.
Or even like the twist or like mashed potato. Like, you know, the old like 70s things.
It's always colonial white women doing a ballroom dance.
Just doing the most.
Yeah, just,
Typical.
I mean, they're extravagant. It's extravagant, you know? So, I mean, all that to say, you think it's all fake, huh? Y'all think it's fake? What do we think?
Yeah, I think they're liars.
Yeah.
I think it's probably fake. So,
I think they're con men.
Sorry to say. And again,
stealing your money.
Very emotional episodes. So I encourage you guys to go take a look, find out for yourselves.
Yeah,
It's
the
kind of
preview.
entertaining.
One guy was
their
like
episode's
crying.
emotional. I was like,
Yes.
I'm not being. Are we emotional?
I'm
Are you
emotional right now.
I mean,
Right
I
now.
got scared the pee out of my pants earlier.
I'm gonna need you to watch that too.
It's gonna be gee whiz. All right,
I'll
well, you
just
heard
take
it
it home
first.
with me.
It wasn't real. It was all a dream. Or was it?
I bet money it's fake.
When did we start talking about dreams?
I don't know. Happy Halloween.